Welcome back to episode 291 of the Gun and Guns podcast. I'm your host, Troy.
And I'm your other host, Doug.
We use this podcast to talk about God, guns, and the responsible Christian gun owners' interest. On this week's show, we'll be talking about 2020, the year lost to Chinese government virus, Chinese communist governors, communist mayors, governors, people who live in fear. Welcome back to the show. We want to thank our sponsors, Oath Keepers TV, for putting our show out there for you guys to watch and listen to and all that good stuff. And also, we want to thank Farms Radio Network for putting our shows out there, our podcast out there, for you guys to listen to at your convenience. There are other shows on Oath Keepers TV and Farms Radio Network and Strike TV. We're also over there. So check those out, please. And remember, as we always say, some of those guys are a little bit more on the salty side. So just to let you know.
Yes,
what else we got there, Doug?
Oh, crossbreed holsters. You've heard Troy and I talk about it. If you're carrying a gun on your person, in your vehicle, or your wife has one in her purse, Crossbreed has a holster for you. Go check our buddies out at crossbreedholsters.com. Carry the cross. Also, PowerTac lights. Hey, if you want a bright light for a weapons light, for a head mount lamp, for hunters, or just a high quality Q-beam like spotlight, go check our buddies out at PowerTac lights, and they will give you a 40% discount just for listening to this show by using our promo code God and Guns. So go check them out at PowerTac.com.
Awesome. Hey, if you guys are live with us, please give us a thumbs up and share. We really need all the shares we can get because we've been throttled down to hardly any feed at all by the social communist media types. And so we could use all the help we can get. So
yeah,
if you care enough about us, please just share that video, whatever you're on, whatever platform, and we would appreciate it. This week's God and Gun activities, Doug, what you been up to?
Let's see. This week has been a little rougher than normal.
Yes.
On the God side, I've been doing my Sportsman's Daily Devotional and Hospital Devotional. This week was a little sad, but good in a way. I had to make a trip up to Kentucky and got to come see you, Troy. See my brother and my family up there. We made a trip up. My 96-year-old grandmother passed away Saturday, and it wasn't COVID related. She was old. She was 96 years old, and they'll probably chalk it up to COVID eventually. She'll show up in the numbers somewhere.
We're all going to die from COVID.
We are, but she finally passed away and got to go be with the Lord, and that's what she would have been the happiest about. And it was ironic. We had the funeral on Tuesday, and thank you, Troy, for first of all coming and then stepping in, because Kentucky is on lockdown from COVID right now, so you can't do nothing. And it was a very short funeral. My brother preached a funeral, and me and my brother and my nephew Trenton and Troy stepped in to be a pallbearer for us. And we had two guys from the funeral home also stepped in. One of them was a little bitty feller, and one of them was old as Methuselah. And neither one of them carried very much. So it was pretty much us. So, but we got it done, got it taken care of, and it was ironic. We buried my grandmother on Tuesday, and yet today, today's Thursday. Yesterday was my mom's birthday.
Oh, wow.
So it was kind of a bittersweet knowing that, my grandmother was actually got to be there to celebrate with my mom.
There you go.
In her heavenly birthday yesterday. So, but thanks for all the prayers and thoughts, and prayers for our trip up to Kentucky. So I appreciate that. And my daughter just told me, Tara, give her a shout out because she was watching tonight. So there's your shout out.
I put her on the screen too.
Yeah, she's actually she's actually staying with us right now since we got back. Her little girl McKenna. She wasn't feeling good. They took her and just to get her checked out. She wound up having strep, but they ran a
Mm,
COVID test on her, and they said it was positive, but it wasn't a normal one. So we were up in Kentucky, and Tara wasn't feeling well, so she went and got tested, and she was fine. No,
yeah.
negative test. I'm sure McKenna's is going to come back too, negative, but she's staying with us. So we have a visitor with us this week. So
There you go.
she's here with us. So hey, so while we were in Kentucky, my brother and I got to go out on the McDowell firing range that he has built in his backyard, and
Good
I
deal.
took Puff up, and we was letting a few go, and man, I was a little disappointed. I hadn't shot that lower since I got the binary trigger in it, and it was not working right. I could single shot mode, it was working fine, no problems. And I went into binary mode, and it would fire, and then as it cycled and reset, you should let off the trigger and it should fire, but it was not. I'd hear just a little click, but it wasn't releasing the hammer. And then I could take my finger, just tap it, and it would it would go ahead and release and fire,
Mm.
and it would cycle like normal. But
It's
so,
cold weather up here in Kentucky. That's what it is.
man, I will tell you, you got it. You guys got it up there, buddy.
All you
It was
Georgia peoples is shivering and shaking.
it was. Of course, I'm wearing shorts the whole time I was up there. So,
Yeah,
but it was chilly. I think the high, what, like 39, 40
it was pretty
while we were up
cool.
there. I was waiting for it to
Wind
snow,
blowing.
but it didn't do it. Yeah, that wind was making it chilly.
Yeah. I wore shorts. I wore shorts every day this year, every day since probably March of this year, except for church or a funeral like this week. But
Right.
I wear shorts all this month. I've worn shorts except for that day and when I had to take my parents to the hospitals. But other than that, I wore them today out there. It was up in the 60s today.
Yeah, it was. I tell you, getting back home to Georgia makes you appreciate the weather a little bit. But let's see, what else did I do? Echo trigger. I think I got it figured out though. I oiled it and cleaned it up in there inside a little bit and messed with it, and I worked the action some, and I think it was just, I don't know, it was just
You didn't have
part of
frog
it.
lube on, did you?
No,
Okay.
no,
Okay.
nope, no frog lube.
Because when you get a little bit cool at all with that frog lube in the internals, sometimes messes up.
I haven't put frog lube on any internal parts on mine since my AR wouldn't fire hog hunting that night, and it made me
Yeah.
mad. And after I got that cleaned out and got all the gunk removed out of it, I haven't used it since.
Yeah. I think on the exterior of the barrels and stuff like that, it'd be all right.
Yeah, yeah,
We'll get in the action or the trigger.
yeah. Don't want to put it on the firing pins and stuff like that, because if from what I've seen, if you leave it setting up for a little bit and don't mess with it, it gets tacky and kind of
Yep.
gummy.
Yep.
But uh, but other
Deal.
than that, let's see. That was about it. What you been up to?
Well, let's see. Taking care of parents is probably primary.
Right.
This on the God side, Daily Bible reading had church security last Sunday. Had to take Dad to the hospital. You guys are over in the elders group. Knew I asked for prayer for him, and so I took him to the hospital. Yeah, yesterday. Got a stent put in. They want him to come back tomorrow and have another stent put in. Maybe a pacemaker defibrillator thing after he gets these two done. See how he does after that. But it's running parents to doctors. Took my mom to the doctor while he was in the hospital for that procedure, and then they want her to come back next week sometime for another procedure. So I'm burning up the road to Louisville pretty much on the
Hey,
family
dude.
side. Then of course got to see you this week, and then not under the kind of circumstances I'd like, but good to meet up with you. I had some stuff to give you, and I forgot all about it.
Oh, did you?
Hey, Steve's on here. Dixie and Dwayne's here. So we had let's see. We met up then. I had dinner tonight with my oldest son and his wife, and my two grandchildren. And we played some cards afterwards, right before the show started, and they just left. And then on the gun side, I sighted in the Pulsar Thermion
Oh, oh,
XQ50. Got her all zeroed up, ready to go. I guess I need to go ahead and put in a drop compensating information so I can take it out to 100 and 200. I don't think we'll shoot more than 200 yards at night out here, but I guess I could run it on out further. I guess you can shoot in the daytime too. You don't have to shoot
oh
at night.
yeah.
So
Hey, well that would you can run it on out there.
yeah, I think it's what 1,600 yards on that model, 16 or 1750
Yeah.
yards. It picks up a heat signature, so that's pretty cool. I mean, it's further
That
than I'll be shooting here.
that one I got is 2,400 yards that
Oh,
you would
really?
supposedly identify on it. Yep.
I may have to go back and look at the thing. I can't remember exactly how far it was. It's a 3.5 to 14 power, uh,
Yeah,
and
mine I got the XM, so mine's a 5.5 to 22 power.
oh, okay. They
So
said
I got
for hog hunting that the what's the X?
XQ
Is it
or
the
the
XQ?
XQ or XP.
It's the 38 one.
Yeah, XQ38.
Yeah, because it's a wider field of view. It's
Yep.
not so much magnification. They say if you're coyote hunting, you want something with a more magnification.
Yep.
And
Zoom
then
in on them.
if you're hunting long range, you'd want the high power zoom and all that stuff. So that's pretty cool. So I'm excited about that. So if I didn't have to go take my parents to the hospital again tomorrow, I would be going out tonight and trying to find some coyotes. But there's always tomorrow.
I was wishing me and John were out on the back porch at his house the other night, and man, the coyotes were going nuts. I pulled my phone out and just was playing a challenge call on my phone,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a coyote answering me back. I was like, man, I wish I'd have brought the thermal.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it, man. I had it on. I was playing around with the different color palettes, and I like
Mhm.
the one with the blue and the reds. I like that a
Yeah,
lot. But when you get into the woods, though, you need that. You need more contrast. So I go with that white hot or the black hot.
I like when you
White,
put it on black hot that it makes everything look like it's got snow all over it
yeah.
because it turns everything white except what's hot.
And I still like that round reticle with the little red dot in the middle of it.
Yeah.
I put the green halo. I guess it's a halo type optic. I like that one with the red in the center. I can
Hmm.
pick that up really quick. It's a lot like my EOTech uh, on my other AR.
There's so many options for it. Plus, did you connect it to your phone at all?
Yeah, I've run it off the phone. I've got an old iPad. I'm thinking about rigging that up to set that up for a viewer when I go out in the field. So if Gunner goes with me in spots and stuff, he can watch what I'm seeing. Of course,
Hmm.
well, I shouldn't say what's coming his way for Christmas, but uh, I'll just leave that be for now. But
There you go.
he's gonna be joining the night world here pretty soon.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. All right. So EDC check. I'm carrying the um, STI Staccato C
There she
9mm.
is.
I love this little pistol. I've got it in my Frankenstein crossbreed Super Tuck that I've created myself because Murray doesn't love me enough to send me a new holster for it. I don't think he's got a blue gun for it. So what's going on, or a holster mold, whatever, for the Staccato C.
Hmm.
But if we keep on, shaming him, maybe somebody will send me some love over there. It's a crossbreed, but it's done. It's done. I mean, I've gotten a full size 1911, and it actually fits well. It covers. It doesn't allow the gun to touch me, and man, it's so much better than the Staccato or the STI holster they sent with the thing. That thing's it's a torture device, man. It's medieval on you. It's just, but yeah, carrying that. Got I'm actually carrying a Ratworks auto knife tonight and the ED2 Defender light and my little All the rest of junk, you guys know. What are you carrying tonight?
Oh, got the same one, but I want to show you. That's one
Oh,
of the crossbreed other holsters.
yeah. I
That's
got one of them.
the
Freedom carry. Yep.
Freedom Carry holster,
You know, that would
and
be pretty good. Probably in a Glock 26. A
yeah,
little baby Glock. The only thing I don't like about the Freedom holster, it just you need a bigger clip.
hmm
If they had a double width size, I think it might be better. But if you have any, I mean, if you had a light gun, it'd be all right. But
it's a
I
cool holster though.
yeah, it's fine. I mean, if you crank down the belt, it won't move. But it's just a matter that it
Right.
needs. You can't go wrong with a super tuck or even the million
Nah.
tuck. If you got a smaller pistol, the million tuck is an awesome little holster, especially that XDS. That is an awesome holster. It was a little bit too small for the staccato, but it was it's perfect for that XDS. It's perfect for XDS. Sorry, go ahead.
So no, I'm good. So I got the Glock 19 with the student of the gun night vision sights on it. I carried it the entire time I was in Kentucky, and that's one thing I like about the Super Tuck, man. Even at the funeral, I was carrying the gun, but I had my shirt tucked in
Yep,
on the outside of the holster, so all you could see was the.
yep.
Let's
I
see,
can see the clip sticking out there. Nobody knows.
yeah, nobody notices the clip. You see the little
Yep.
cross on it. That's all you see.
Only other
And
crossbreed holster people know what you're wearing.
oh, exactly. They're like, "Hey, what you got on your belt there?" And nothing.
My
So I got
camera's
that
falling down on me over here.
right. So I
I
got
might
the
have to.
Glock, and of course I got the Spartan Auto knife with the Damascus steel blade. I've been carrying around with me. Let's see, zoom in on me a little bit so you can see it. I like that little knife. It works good. And that's all I got on me at the moment. I'm out here. But yeah, I was on the phone earlier with Jeff, who's on here with us, and he had FaceTime me. He just bought him a new crossbreed holster, and he sent me a picture of it. He's like, "You got a minute?" I'm like, "Absolutely." I always love to hear a good story. But he got him a new. I think he said he was carrying a Glock 17 in it, and so we were talking about where I carry and do you carry exactly at 3 o'clock, or do you carry back further on when you're carrying, Troy?
I carry, depending on the pistol, and depending on the pants. I've got some belt loops that won't let me carry exactly at 3 o'clock, but I typically carry at 3 or somewhere between 3 and 4. I don't usually take it anywhere. When I first started carrying, I was carrying like 5 o'clock, and the older I got, my shoulders got hurting more and more. And my speed of
Can't
draw, my
can't
speed of
reach around
draw
to grab it.
was quite slow. And then you had to sweep so much more garment back. So I carried it at 3, and then I've started wearing an overshirt or a vest or a light jacket or just a shirt over top of a t-shirt. If I'm not open carrying, that's the way I'll carry. But
Right.
but yeah, right now I'm carrying at 3 o'clock, and then just again depending on so the clips don't go over the top of the belt loop, because if they go over the top of the belt loop, the holster's liable to come out. So it needs to be over the belt.
To the side.
Yeah, on the on the side. But
I usually carry mine's usually rides about 330, between 330 and 4 position,
yeah,
somewhere right in there. That's where I am the most comfortable with it when I'm
yeah,
drawing and all that stuff. I don't like carrying exactly at 3 o'clock around the side because it has a tendency to hit the edge of my pocket. So when I'm digging keys and stuff out, the
huh,
holster's down in the edge of your pants, so it
yeah.
bothers me.
Well, it depends on the cant of the holster that I'm wearing
hmm
too. If the cant's forward quite a bit, then yeah, I understand what you're saying. On this staccato, that hammer, it's got exposed uh, hammer back live around, so it sort of sticks forward a little bit, but it stays below the level of the top of the holster, so I don't really snag on it. And but yeah, I usually carry about 3 o'clock, and the more weight that I keep losing, the smaller my love handles get, the more flush fitting it is, and so I'm actually able to carry a double mag holster on the side now, and it doesn't bow out and tear apart. And stick out and look unusual. But hopefully, I can get down where I can. I'm went down. I started out at a 62 pant, and I'm down in the 46s now. I'm
Nice.
trying to get down into uh, the high 30s. I think a 38's the smallest I ever was, and I was about 10% bite, 12% body fat at that time, something like a 10, 12% body fat, which is lower than I really want to ever go again. But I don't think it's possible for me to go that low again, but I'm going to get down there as far as I can.
I hear you.
I bounced off of the number that I've never been able to defeat since I was 20, 28. I was 302 this week, and I bounced back up to when I'm going down. It's sort of like it's like bounces. It goes down, and it's like over the period of 6 months, it's a slow slide, but it's like it just goes ebbs and flows. I go down a little bit and pop up. I go down a little bit, pop up. Oh well, people don't want to hear about that stuff. Let's talk about jokes. You got a joke for us?
I do got a joke. I don't think I've told this one, but yeah, that wouldn't be the first time I've said that. But anyway, it's called tainted money. So Timmy didn't want to put his money in the offering plate on Sunday morning, so his mother decided to use some hurried creative reasoning with him. "You don't want that money, honey," she whispered in his ear. "Quick, drop it in the plate. It's tainted." Horrified, the little boy obeyed. After a few seconds, he whispered, "But Mommy, why was the money tainted? Was it dirty?" She goes, "Oh no, dear," she replied. It's not really dirty. It just tain't yours, tain't mine. It's God's." I don't think I told that one before.
No, that reminds me. Every time my kids start eating before we have grace for the meal, I say, oh, I do enough that the kids roll their eyes at me. I'll say, you eating that unholy food, huh? You eating that idolic, unholy food. You better not put that in your mouth. Bad things will happen. They just look at me like, leave me alone.
Like,
I'm just trying to eat. I'm just trying to eat.
I just want to eat.
I just want to eat. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. That's a pretty good joke. When I heard the Timmy joke, I thought, oh no, he's done all the Timmy jokes. There can't be another Timmy joke.
I've had a lot of little Johnny jokes too.
Johnny jokes, Timmy jokes, Billy jokes.
Yep. Billy jokes.
Well, all right. Bible verse tonight will be coming from Proverbs. Pop up here where you guys can see it. Proverbs 10. I've got to put it on the big screen so I can see it. Excuse me, I'm about to cough. COVID getting me again. All right, Proverbs. Go cough. All right, Proverbs 10, verses 30 down to 32. The righteous will never be removed, but the wicked will not dwell in the land. And I claim that verse and I proclaim it over America. The mouth of the righteous brings forth wisdom, and the perverse tongue will be cut off. The lips of the righteous know what is acceptable, but the mouth of the wicked, what is perverse. And so there it is. The righteous word, the wise words of Solomon, King Solomon, who ended up not taking his own advice and marrying a bunch of women that messed him up. We blame the women because we know he was the wisest man there was. That's the only way he could have messed up. But he messed up and he ended up being a horrible king, not like his father. And that's sad, when you think about that. No matter how smart you are, you could still do something stupid.
Oh yeah.
When you don't follow God's laws, when you don't follow what God calls you to do, even though you might be the wisest person to ever walk the planet, you can still mess up, especially if you're taking advice from a bunch of women that are fighting against each other's gods and stuff. So I ain't going too far down that path because things could go wrong with what I say.
Yes, they could.
But take the words of wisdom there from Solomon and apply them to your prayer life today because our country needs some prayer.
Amen.
Speaking of which, let's get on into the show.
Let's just do it.
2020, where did it go? I mean, we're like 2 weeks out from the end of the year or something, 2-3 weeks out here. It is just went nowhere. I mean, we didn't go nowhere, or I didn't go nowhere. I stayed around here and worked on the farm, fed cattle, fixed fences, grew a garden, and put up as much hay as we could find. But as far as going anywhere, we didn't go on any mission trips. We didn't have any Wednesday night services. We didn't have any Sunday night services. We didn't have anything. Our year was stolen from us, Doug.
It has been stolen from us. I was up in Kentucky, my home place too.
Yep.
And your all's governor up there. We were going to go out and eat Monday night when we got up there, and John's like, "Well, we're going to cook here." I'm like, "Why?"
We got a Democrat.
Down. You got a Democrat.
We got little dandy Andy making up tales about COVID.
Little fancy Andy.
Adolf Andy. Well, there's all kinds of names for him we got around here in Kentucky.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, most of them I can't repeat here on the show, but they're not good.
But they got it locked down. And now I'm not going to lie to you. I almost got into it with one of my relatives.
I was right beside you.
Yeah, you were. And I was
like, this is Doug's relative. You can't get in this comment.
Doug will do it.
I'm going to back off and watch.
Yeah. You could tell she's a Democrat. There ain't no doubt.
Well, she's afraid. I don't know how much politics got to do with it, but she's afraid that something's going to happen to her.
Well, she's afraid, but she made a comment. She said, "I just wish they would lock down everybody, everything, so we get over this." And I hear you mumble like, "Well, that's unconstitutional." Yeah, it is. And I made the point to her. I was like, "Well, I said I think it should be a personal thing for you. If you're afraid to go out and you're afraid to get it, and you don't want to do anything, don't do it." She said, "Why?" She said, "Well, that would be fine, but you got all these people that are just stubborn and hard-headed and won't listen, and they go out anyway." I'm like, and kind of like you're here today, right? So not a big difference in that. But I think it should be a personal thing. If you want to go out, go out. If you have underlying health issues, stay home.
My camera collapsed on me.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Steve's asked me over on YouTube. He said, "Have y'all heard of the proposed law by Texas state representative making it illegal to defend one's home from invaders?" I had not heard that, and I don't think that'll fly in Texas.
Yeah, even in the liberal parts of Texas, they'd laugh at that one.
Yeah. But I don't know. Oh, Andy's got everything locked down. If you notice, all the Democrat states have everything locked down. Georgia, we're not locked down, and we're no worse off than anybody else. And you can still go out and eat. You can do things. I look at it this way: what is the difference in if I want to go out and eat dinner, and you go to Target or a big box store like Walmart and go Christmas shopping with every other Yahoo that's out there? What's the difference? There is no difference.
Because most restaurants are owned by mom and pops and local business. And the big box stores give money to Democrats, and they would like to have a monopoly like Amazon on all the stuff shipped to your house. Now, my daughter works for Amazon, but I can still say that. Maybe she won't get far. But as far as who they're trying to punish is the small business owners.
That's who's getting hammered.
That's who's getting hammered, and they're losing their businesses. They can't pay rent. They can't pay their employees. But Walmart is fine dandy. Lowe's fine dandy.
I tell you, I don't know if you saw it the other day or not, but the girl out in California makes the perfect example of hypocrisy out there. They told her she owns a small restaurant. She's got outdoor dining to meet their restrictions in the whole 9 yards.
Mhm.
They shut her down. They said, you cannot have outdoor dining. You can't do it. We got to shut you down. Right next to her on the same corner across the street, they set up a bunch of tents for dining for a movie production company so they could eat while they're shooting their movie.
Yeah.
And she, I mean, that case, I feel so bad for her.
Yeah.
And there's nothing they could do about it. But
No.
a lot more people are now saying, heck with you. We're going to keep stuff open and keep going.
Yeah. I mean, so the bad side, we don't want to be all negative here tonight, but the bad side is a lot of us didn't get to do much in 2020. A lot of us, a lot of people didn't have employment. A lot of people are
Right.
living off of welfare food stamps again, and are having a hard time. Some people did really well. People who were in the right market or in the right employment force, like every gun store that had stock, man, they did great. Everybody that had a lot of food did great. The farmers, I don't know that we've done that great. But what we're gonna have to take out of this 2020, we need to understand that there are going to be times that that we're going to be suffering, and I don't know that we're there as far as suffering yet because we still have access to certain things, but with all the corruption stuff going on, the path going forward for socialist countries. So, like Venezuela was the third most richest country in the world till they allowed someone to take over their country that was a communist, and he took all the businesses and made them government owned. And then what happened? People are starving. They are going around killing zoo animals and eating them because there wasn't anything to eat. They were fleeing the country until all the countries around them put up fences to keep them from coming out. They're denied medical care. They're denied. I mean, these people. So that can happen here. So as bad as 2020 has been, if Joe Biden or Kamala, however you say her name, if they take over and do half the stuff they've said they're going to do, that's the same path that has destroyed country after country. So as bad as it's been, it can be a lot worse. So pray, call your representatives and say, hey, we don't want none of this. And, go out and protest if you're able to, and pray. Encourage your neighbors. Don't get too negative. I have a tendency to go negative, and Doug sometimes has a tendency to go negative.
No, I don't.
And so we have to watch ourselves because our hope isn't here in this country. Our hope isn't in what we have financially. Our hope isn't in an American dream. Our hope is in Jesus. Our hope is in heaven, the glory of heaven, by way of Jesus. And so let's not be gloom and doom and gloom, because I can be that way. I can get pretty negative, and I can get pretty dire, and I can get pretty ready to rock and roll. Myself, my family's like, oh, we don't want to be along with this ride. But as far as we as believers, we got to keep focused that we have a heaven waiting us that's better than anything on this earth. But we don't have to lay down and be martyred. We have the right to defend ourselves, and we have the right to take care of our families to the best of our ability. But in the end of it, as we saw in the Bible verses, that God is the one who gives. God is the one who blesses the righteous. And who are the righteous? The righteous are those who follow God's commandments and are in alignment with God. They are right before God. So they are obeying the commandments to the best of their knowledge that they understand. Whenever you've done something wrong, you're confessing sin, you're asking for forgiveness, you're always seeking the face of God, you're always trying to be more like Jesus, our example, and dying to yourself and living for Him. And God says in Proverbs we saw, he said that the righteous won't suffer. It's
Yep.
the ones that are doing unholy things, unrighteous things, they will suffer. There might be a temporary period of time that we might suffer, and even up to death, but we have heaven. We won't be eternally damned. We won't be eternally separated from God and put into a place of separation from everyone and punishment and pain. And so we just have to keep our heads about us. We have to keep a smile on our face because Jesus has already won the battle that these people are running around thinking they're still got a chance to win. They don't have a chance to win. They don't have a chance. They already lost. They lost on Calvary 2,000 years ago. The devil and his children lost. And all that's happening now is the death pains, the final kicking of the leg of the pig, that he is going to be meeting the judge of the judge soon enough, and he's trying to take out as many people with him as he can. So don't become disheartened. Love
Nope.
people even when they hate your guts. Smile and let them know why you have a hope that is beyond this, and prepare because it's going to get worse. So if you knew a year ago that you were getting ready to go into a drought where you couldn't buy ammunition, what would you have been doing?
You should have been stocking up.
If you've been listening to our show, we've been telling you to stock up on ammo for the last two presidential races. Every time it's a presidential race, you stock up on ammo in advance because it goes off the shelves and they can't make it fast enough. If there's a gun that you want, you should have got it a year ago. Right?
Yep.
You should, you're not this year. No. And I could have been one of those price gougers. I could have went out there and I've got things that I could sell and I could have made a killing this year off of stuff that I've put away. But I didn't put it away to make money.
No.
I put it away to provide for my family, to provide for my friends and neighbors should we have bad times, that I have something to draw from. And although, quick cash is always fun, it also don't come back. It depends on, who won the election, and we still don't know yet. Uh, Depends on who wins the election is whether or not you're going to be able to get that ammo or get that gun that you want or get that optic you want or getting that suppressor you want. The time is nigh, guys. If you were going to try to get something, you're paying premium prices. You guys know it. And
Dude,
so,
I know you see it just like I do. A lot of
yeah,
people don't see it, but I have people emailing me, texting me, calling me,
you got it.
wanting to know, man, where can I find some 9mm rounds? I'm like, how much you want to pay?
Yep.
Yeah.
How big is your freezer?
Which
How
one?
many cans do you have on the shelf of
Yep.
food that will last more than 3 months, right? How
Hmm.
much dry goods have you got squirreled away? How much ability do you have to filter water? How much ability do you have to generate electricity? Do you have devices that you have to have that use electricity to survive, like a CPAP machine? How are you going to deal with that if there's no electricity? How do you deal with no, the water tap not turning water on? Where you have stored water? Do you have? And I'm not doom and glooming. I'm just saying the writing's on the wall. It's been there. It's been getting more and more writing on the wall, and
You got
people running out and buying toilet paper is not going to get you there. You need to
right.
think deeper. I don't know how many different survival authors I've had on the show, at least 3 or 4 or 5
Yep.
uh, guys that have been saying, you need to be building your larder. You need to be building things that you can trade for. Cash is not doing you any good because they're printing it every day, and it's becoming less and less more and more worthless. Because every time they print cash, it's a tax on anybody that's holding cash. So you want to get out of cash and get into 22 bullets, or you want to get into silver, or you want to get into gold if you got that much cash around, or you want to get into land that can produce food, or you want to get into uh, maybe livestock. You want to invest and buy some cattle from a farmer and let him keep them on his farm, and you pay for their stuff, and then you have something maybe to eat a little bit later, or you go in and start build you a greenhouse or something that would actually be able to provide food. 10 months of the year, 11 months a year, depending on where you live at. There are things that you need to be getting straightened out and quit, ignoring the things that you need. There are lots of things you can trade. I just saw Steve popped up there. Precious metals, bullets, and liquor. Liquor, if as long as you're okay with it, that's fine, Danny. But liquor can be used as something to trade for and barter with. Because when there's no more cigarettes and there's no more alcohol, you got some desperate people that might trade some really cool stuff for some things like that.
Well, it's just like I'm planning this year. I'm fixing to buy the first of the year. I'm going to buy two calves, and I'm going to start raising them and have them out here in the field and get them fed and get them ready to go. And
Get you some chickens and some goats.
I don't want no goats. I told my wife I wouldn't mind getting goats if we could get some of them fainting goats, because I would probably go there and scare them every day. That just cracks me up, man. It's easy to catch a fainting goat.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, you'd be belly rolling so much.
I don't necessarily care nothing about chickens. I know you can get eggs and stuff like that from them, but we raised them as kids, man. They were just messy. I hate them.
Yeah, depends on how hungry you get.
Oh yeah.
Depends on what you can trade a bunch of eggs for.
Well, you could ask pretty much anybody in my family or anybody that knows me. There ain't much that I haven't tried or not willing to try. I saw my buddy Andy's on here right now, and trapping season just came in Georgia, which you can trap beaver in Georgia all year round, but he's gonna trap me some beaver, and I'm gonna make some stew out of it and try it.
I think about Fred cooking that groundhog in that crock pot.
Oh, dude, we kill groundhogs all the time.
I saw them all the time. I didn't eat them.
We used to, you had to get the younger ones, but
I hung them on the fence. They were trophies. I hang them out there on the fence, have them lined up. People see how many groundhogs I killed on the farm.
Soften them up a little bit.
Yeah, they turn into soup after a little while. Come out both ends there.
Right.
But now we got coyotes. And, I'm thinking about just building a gut pile down there of coyotes and dead skunks and raccoons.
Yep.
Just hunt over that thing for the next couple of months to clean out there because they're going to be competing for rabbits and stuff. We got a prayer request over here from Jonathan Harrison.
Yep. Jonathan's a friend of mine, and Larry King is a friend of ours and a really good friend of Jonathan's. And he actually brought me a book. I got to send you a copy of it because he gave me two, one for me, one for you. And it talks about his struggles. He had some health problems and turned to the Lord. And it looks like a good read. I got to read it. And I told Jonathan I was going. I just have not had time to do it. But I know you read a lot more than I do, so I need to get it done. I should have brought it up here to you the other day, but I really wasn't thinking about it at the time. But Larry's having a hard time right now, and he does need our prayers. So,
all right, let's go ahead and pray for Larry right now.
All right,
Lord, we just ask you to be with Larry, that you would be with him this time. And Lord, I don't know all the circumstances, but Lord, you know Larry's heart. And Lord, we pray that if he doesn't know you, that he will come to know you. If he does know you, Lord, that he will honor and glorify you through this process. Lord, we just ask that you be with Jonathan, and you would be able to attend to him and the concerns he has. And Lord, we thank you for this opportunity. And Lord, I pray all these things in Jesus' name for his sake. Amen.
Amen.
All right, guys. So thanks a lot for the. Let us know, man. We don't mind to pray. Most time when we get prayer requests, we have them over in the elder group, or we have a prayer page as well. But not many people jumping in on that yet lately, since I quit doing the morning prayer thing. But I don't want to keep us on here all night. Let's go ahead and but just encourage as believers, guys. We have an opportunity right now when people are in fear, like the palpable fear that you see these people driving around in their cars. Lord bless them, with a mask on, the windows rolled up, and just their eyes are big as saucers. Uh, they're being drove to insanity over this stuff. I mean, as I've always said, I don't go anywhere until God says it's time to go. All right. I mean, he's got a purpose and a plan for each of us. We might have our own plans, but God is the one that gets to decide what actually happens.
Yep.
Because I make all kinds of plans and things happen all day long, every day, and I don't get to do my plans. I have to do some other plans. God was not going to let you go anywhere until He's done with you, and so you don't have to be afraid about dying. You'll die when
Nope.
God's ready for you to die. You don't have to plan for it. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to do anything about it. All you've got to do is glorify God and trust in Him and put your full faith and trust in Him. And you won't be packing around this stuff. You'll be able to laugh at this stuff. It sounds cruel, but I don't know how else to react to it, because if you've got that much palpable fear, you cannot enjoy life. I
No.
see people that are in their 80s and they're running around with these masks on, scared to death. If you ain't got your plans for your afterlife already taken care of and you're 80, you've been playing wrong games, or you've been focusing in the wrong areas. You ain't gonna live forever.
You know,
Quit worrying about this stupid stuff.
I
Go ahead.
tell everybody all the time, man, I am firm in my faith. And if I get sick, God's either going to heal me and I'm going to be okay here, or if I die, I'm going to heaven. So
Yep.
I'm a winner either way. So what is there to be scared of?
Yeah, and the enemy wants you to be afraid. The enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. Jesus says, "I come that people will have life and have it more abundantly." Which one sounds more like a COVID cheerleader, and which one sounds more like like us? We want you to enjoy the life that God has given you, and don't worry about diseases and other people. You know, the Red Cross was started by Christians who would go into these areas where the blue blind plague, all these things, and go into war zones because they were saved. They knew that they had eternal life, and they did not worry. And they went in and they served in areas where they could get diseases and die from it, or they went into harm's way into a battlefield and drug guys out that was shot up and took them out, and they could got shot, but they had faith in God, and they didn't allow that to have any fear on them. If you have assurance of your salvation, you can't be touched by this stuff. Then you can be coerced and forced at the point of a gun. The government can force you to do things against your will, but you don't have to have fear over it. You don't have to allow that to, and don't allow that to be on your family. Let them know if they have their salvation, if they understand, they put their faith and trust in God, and they give over all these problems to God, the enemy has no control over you. The way they get you to take a shot of dead baby parts into your body, saying it's going to make you healthy, is by making you so fearful of death that you're willing to put that garbage into your body in the hopes that you may not get a disease that has a 99.6% survival rate.
Right.
The insanity that people are experiencing because they're being manipulated by fear. That's the government's way. Create a problem by which they have the answer, and you have to take their answer. No, I reject that.
I ain't taking it.
I reject their created problem that was manufactured by Fauci and the Chinese government to make a virus, to make a situation where we can't vote normally, and we have to have all these printed paper ballots that we know are corrupt to try to overthrow a sitting government, a sitting president, duly elected president, by corruption, because they've created these events. They always create the problem, and they've got the solution ready, right? They already had the patents on the virus, on the antivirus or whatever it was. The vaccine, they already had the patents on that before the virus showed up. Does that not tell you what's going on here?
Imagine that.
Imagine that. That is the devil's children right there. In a righteous world, if people weren't so manipulated by fear and so controlled by lies, they would take pitchforks and torches and go and take down that stuff, right? But we've got a world of people so afraid to combat, go face to face, call a liar, and tell the government that they have no authority over our bodies, no authority to rule us, no authorities to shut our businesses down. That's not why our Constitution was created or how our Constitution was created. So, as believers, smile. Know that the battle is on, but it's already been won. And point others to Jesus. That's what we got to do, because I'm tired of this bunch of malarkey. People running around trying to intimidate. You had a congressman up in Michigan threatening threatening Trump supporters. Oh, we're going to send the military on you. Well, Swalwell said he's going to nuke all the Second Amendment supporters. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Swalwell said, "Oh, we got the nukes. You're going to lose that gun battle. It don't matter what kind of gun you got." What an idiot. He's sleeping around with a Chinese spy. Well, I don't want to get any more political. We need to get on with the show because people start dropping out on us. We appreciate you guys being on there. Go ahead and
We do.
throw any more comments out here, and we're going to go on to the Armed Citizen in just a second. We'll thank a couple more of our sponsors. If we want patches and stickers that look like God and Guns podcast back here, you get them. And Subscribe Star, God and Guns is the, if you want to help us out with Subscribe Star, go to God and Guns and you can donate there. And we got some different levels of patronage there. Also, if you've not heard about Oath Keepers, especially if you're former military, police, first responder, go over to oathkeepers.org and find out more about that. And you've got the last two.
Axelson Tactical. Hey, you've heard Tori talking about his Axelson. He put the new thermal on. I have one as well, and they are tack driving machines. They make custom rifles, custom pistols, custom bolt guns if you're a long range shooter. So go check our buddies out at AxelsonUSA.com. Use the promo code God and Guns and get a 10% discount on something. When you find it, you will like it. And tell them you heard about them through us. Also, Palmetto State Armory. Hey, they're an affiliate link for us. So there's no promo code, but everything that you buy, if you go through our affiliate link, they give us a little love back. They got AR parts, kits, complete guns. Sometimes they got ammo. Most time not right now. But if you find it, get it. If you find a gun, get it, because they don't keep those in stock very much either, because they're selling them out. People are just panic buying everything they can get.
Well, I mean, buy it to barter with later. I mean, you may not have something. If you can find something that might be worth bartering later, there you go.
Yep. So, bartering tools, man. So go check our buddies out at PalmettoStateArmory.com.
Good deal. Armed Citizen of the Week. What we got?
Hey, this week's NRA Armed Citizen comes to us from Akron, Ohio, from it's Cleveland19.com had the story. An employee in an Akron, Ohio Metro PCS store stopped an armed robber with a firearm during a holdup in the store on December 1st of 2020. The incident began just before 8 p.m. that Tuesday evening when a would-be robber walked into the store. He then pulled out a handgun, announced the robbery, and made his way behind the cash register. Once the register was stripped of all the money, the robber attempted to get into the store safe. As the robber was trying to get into the safe, one of the Metro PCS employees pulled his own handgun and fired several shots at the armed robber. The robber was taken into custody by police once they arrived on the scene. He was struck by at least one of the rounds fired from the employee and was taken to a local hospital in serious but stable condition.
Target practice.
Yeah.
It's important.
Especially that close.
Getting trained, people. That is worth a lot. If you're in a grid down situation and the police are only 2-3 hours, maybe days away, being able to make accurate shots and having good training and being able to deal with the threat quickly, efficiently, and legally, then that would be some good training. You can go at Bulwarks if you're here in Kentucky area, or if you've got enough people for some training, they'll go anywhere and train. So go to bulwarks.com. You can find them there. They got Facebook pages and stuff like that. They don't pay me nothing. We're just alumni and good friends with all the guys and gals over there at Bulwark. So check those guys and gals out if you have here. You got anything else for us, guys? I don't see other questions over here tonight. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us and giving us the thumbs up, the likes, and the subscribes, and all that stuff. We really appreciate that. If you got any questions, you can send your feedback to Troy at GuyandGunsPodcast.com or
Doug at GuyandGunsPodcast.com.
We appreciate if you tell your friends about us. Leave us an iTunes review. We haven't had any of those lately. I haven't checked lately. I guess we need to check.
I looked today. September was the last one.
Okay, you guys, if you've not left one recently in the last year or so, we appreciate if you'd give us a review. Good one. A good 5-star review.
Yeah.
We ain't ashamed to ask. Like us over on Facebook at facebook.com/Guy and Guns Podcast. Subscribe, follow us on YouTube. And you can follow us on Twitter at Guy and Guns Pod. You can follow us on Instagram, and you can follow us on MeWe, and you can follow us on Parler. It's all God and Guns or Guy and Guns Pod. And most of it's all God and Guns. I'm on Parler personally. We're also on Wimkin. There's some other ones that I've been testing around on, but we'll see. We're not on Pinterest.
No.
We ain't got no cookbooks or nothing. We don't have no. We ain't got no embroideries to show.
Yeah, but you guys look us up on MeWe. Look us up on Parler.
Yep.
Because I was telling somebody over here on the YouTube a while ago, we are being censored so hard now. We used to get, if we posted a story, we would get the number of reaches that people actually looked at it, saw it, whatever. Would be several thousand people. On stuff that we were posting. Now we're getting 50 and 60, not 50, 60,000, 50 or 60 people that are reached.
Yeah,
so they're not letting our content get out there at all. So you're going to have to share and send it to your friends in your contact list. Send it to them. Say, hey, check out these guys. They're not real bright, but they do a pretty good job.
But we're pretty. We're pretty. It makes up for not being so smart.
Well, I say, back when we did just straight podcasts, we had faces for radio.
Yeah, we still do.
We still do.
Even my mother said, I need to trim this beard up. She said, yeah, you looking awful. You need to trim all our hair off your face. All right, guys, we rambled on long enough. We appreciate you guys being with us tonight. And any feedback, things like that, just let us know. We appreciate you hanging out with us. And GuyandGunsPodcast.com. Doug's working on that website. He's going to give it to me for a Christmas present this year.
It is. It's going to be a Christmas present.
2020.
I'm holding out like a stimulus package.
All right. Until next time, have a blessed week.
Hey, keep your guns close, but keep your Bible closer.
Good night, y'all. We're going to head to the house.